Why, hello there, Elgato. Elgato Roboto. That person I don't like.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Hi,
hello stream. I come to you from my only break of the day because I've been working all day and someone agreed to cover for me while I do this and Cal runs away and cowers in the corner. But
Hello, I'm back.
welcome to my office, which is just a giant wooden board.
I wish I lived in a giant wooden board.
It sounds cool, but it's claustrophobic a bit. I'm not even claustrophobic, but like I'm feeling it.
Who lives in a giant board under this? I don't do that. DMCA. Out. Stop.
DMCA.
Nope, we just got taken down, Rufus. Anyway, welcome to the Dungeons and Downloads podcast, season 4, episode 4. We are live every Thursday, starting at 7:30 Eastern and 8:30 in a time that doesn't really exist.
Time flows differently here.
Rufus, what are we talking about today?
We're going to do some D&D recaps, and then we're going to talk about more Harry Potter, some Google stuff, some Rick and Morty stuff, some Hasbro stuff, and then we're going to be done. And today we kind of are on a bit more of a stricter schedule because I have to go back to work as soon as we're done
back
here.
to work.
So I got someone covering for me for an hour and a half while I'm here, so...
Are they watching the stream?
I don't know, hopefully.
Just to make sure that you're actually doing it. You just don't want to take a nap or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, he's going to the bathroom? No way. Oh, you want to do a podcast? Yeah, sure. What is this?
Yep.
Amazon? Ba-dumts.
It's true.
So, Cal, why don't you tell us about one of your campaigns? Why don't you tell us about The End of Time?
Pick one. Okay. The end of time happened. Yay! No, it didn't happen. The campaign happened.
Not yay.
So, wait a minute. This week we started off doing 2 more wings of the first Soul Engine. You guys went through that pretty easily. You guys didn't take a lot of damage. Everything was looking great. Then you guys got to the Soul Engine, and you guys rolled like shit.
Oh, man, did we ever. I mean...
Soul Engine, what?
I was kind of surprised that so many, and by so many, I mean 2 people... stayed on that engine as long as they did while the rest of us were like dying.
I think the hope was to shut down the entire engine before anything happened, or as quick as possible.
Oh yeah, but once we got like the second thing, we we probably should have stopped.
Yeah, probably.
But
I think people were also afraid of having to remake the rolls because we were rolling that badly.
I mean, but we're good at those things, so the odds of us doing good the next time were like
That's
they
not
were
how
good.
statistics work.
Well, no, like
That's
the
not how
high bonuses
actual-
we have, like statistically, we're gonna roll higher more than we're gonna roll low. So
You guys did good after you guys didn't do good.
yeah, we did moderate.
You guys got to witness what happens when you fail the first time in a Soul Engine.
It's
and
true.
You took 48 damage to start out.
Can you imagine if we'd got the first one like perfect and then we're like, oh, we're gonna ace this, and then that same thing happened on the second one?
Yeah. But you guys definitely had the ability to...
Oh yeah, we should have done that first try.
You guys could have done that first try.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is something to make it so it's like not just a super cakewalk, but yeah. You guys definitely could have done that.
Definitely.
But you didn't.
And we
Didn't
did.
do that. You did eventually take it out though. You went.
Yeah.
You did the last runaround was all successes
Yeah.
in a row.
That's
so
what I mean.
you dealt with it. The way the Soul Engine works is if you fail a skill check, something bad happens. Damage is done. Poison might come out of the bottom of it. Things might spawn. The way it actually works, I was rolling a d20, and there are 18 skills in the game, and I was picking the skill it rolled unless it doubled, and then something happens based off of that skill to make it as random as possible.
Nice.
And that'll be the other ones will be the same randomness. Unless I rolled the same thing twice, then I just picked a skill. I just looked at I had the list open on one of my characters and was like, okay, pick one. Go up a couple. So like
I like that we
the
were
thing-
able to co-op the last one because we have 5 people. I think.
yeah, no, I that made sense, especially for the last one, because it was also like you had to figure out what a symbol is, so you two were just talking back and forth. There are some of them that have to be solo, and if that rolls last, that rolls last. That's just how life is.
Yep.
but that one made sense.
Like, I like the idea of like things like that one or the lever that Mego was pulling. Like the idea of some that are like actually, you could physically see two people doing that.
Yeah, you could end up doing two people on the lever. You just would have had to have two people hold it.
Exactly, the whole time.
Works, the way the lever works is it pushes back the next round with the same force that was pushed upon it the first time.
Right.
Which is why you're able to maintain without doing another skill check, but you're just constantly holding that up.
Right. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it makes sense why, you know, two people would have to stand there the entirety of the time until it's done.
Yeah. So, like, you guys figured, I think you guys might end up just jumping off next time something bad happens if it's enemies again.
Depends on
I
what
think
the skill is.
It is a
right?
viable strategy to just try and, because you guys don't know what happens when it's done. You don't know if the enemies would stay or if they'd go away.
Yeah,
so
we don't.
it's a potential viable strategy to just take out the Soul Engine.
I think it depends on
and
the skill
focus.
checks. Like we had Mega on Strength and we had Crealis on Dex. So like them jumping off, it's like they're gonna be able to do it again. It's
be able
not,
to come back,
It's
yeah.
not like we had to roll an int check and nobody had int, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, I think one of you guys does have int.
oh maybe. I
Kratos has investigation, which is funny because that's int.
picked a skill that most people don't spec unless they're a wizard.
It is.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see what happens for the other two. You guys made it out. You had I really wanted to hit home the fact that time flows differently, so you guys saw both two dead characters, one which had died twice in the hallway of of the Soul Engines. I also wanted to do the thing anyone does with the time travel-y things. Chris Ingram wrote down a note that Crealis saw in his notes later on. Like, just trying to tie up some loose ends. Like, why did he know that time flows differently down there? Well,
He's been
they
down
saw
there.
you guys. And there's one more loose end that you guys might figure out. Well, why didn't he tell you guys that he saw you guys?
Paradox.
Possible paradox. Could also be another explanation we'll have to find out next week. Once you guys exit this Soul Engine.
I'm more curious why our own party isn't telling us things like this, but that's beside the point.
Right. Right. Because you're like, why? Well, I mean, you're trying to think of, like, why didn't Chris Ingram just say.
Well, no, like unless Crealis was instructed not to tell us, I don't see why she wouldn't give us the advantage of knowing things.
Do you think that that's what Crealis saw and Crealis and Kiva had that side session with?
Well, I'm telling you, I have zero clue because they haven't told us. It could
You
have
guys
been.
still don't know.
It
Exactly.
could have been. Like, you know, like maybe, but that was a part of it. Who knows?
You guys are going to be very intrigued when you figure out what that was about.
So, like, that's what I'm more confused about. I'm less confused about the time
why
travel.
Crealis hasn't said it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I imagine that Crealis has her reasons for it, and Kiva's not there.
Yeah. She ran away. She went to go join the Peace Corps or something.
She did go to stop fighting, and her thing is she wanted to stop fighting and just protect and fight in the least amount possible.
That track.
That was, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fine with it. It gave her character a way out for the period of time. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she wants to fight in the shadow fight because she said she might want to. If she's there, cool. If not, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna win anyway.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited for that. That's going to be about 2 weeks from now. I will say, before we move on to your Waterdeep, very happy that you guys didn't just blast through that first Soul Engine, and it made me realize that it's going to take probably 2 more weeks, and it made me happy.
Well,
because it's a big dungeon,
it depends.
and it's supposed to take time.
We understand the Soul Engine now.
You do.
We understand the gambit of the Soul Engine, I should
I guess
say.
it also depends. Well, so the Soul Engine itself takes a while if there's any failures because it's all in combat.
Yeah.
So you have to go through that whole process.
Like, we probably spent close to half an hour on the Soul Engine.
Yeah, yeah. And then a little bit on RP.
Like, I feel like if we really wanted to, we could finish the Soul Engines next week.
Potentially.
If we really wanted
There's
to.
a potential there.
If we said no more talking, we know how
You guys
these
do like
work.
a little bit of RP.
I like the
outside.
RP aspect. That to me is actually
I'm really
D&D in
sad.
essence.
So Nick's been sick last couple
Yeah.
times we played, and he's actually reached out to me and been like, "Yeah, I really wanted to like RP my character and play more, but he's physically ill and can't do it."
Yeah.
So Gerzik's just this like guy.
I mean, I
This
totally
dwarf.
get that. That's why Snog uses a voice changer. I could barely speak the first night we played Out of the Abyss. I had a terrible throat infection, and I was
Yeah.
like, how am I going to RP Snog? And I was like, oh, I got this thing called Voice Mod. And then
I think he's actually just physically too tired to do anything other than just like combat and minimal RP right now.
and that
He's been
you
sick
know
for,
what?
like January.
That's
Fine.
That's
Like I
fair.
said, if you, I mean, I said as long as you're feeling up to it and that's what you want to do, that's cool. We'll gladly have you.
But like honestly, as his character right now, he's kind of a
kinda makes
sellsword
sense.
to us right now.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's basically a sellsword until
Yeah.
when he gets better and wants to RP more, he'll obviously instantly become part of the group with the the whole gaggle of friends and whatnot. But for now, yeah, it works. He's just a sellsword. He doesn't talk much. He does his work. He gets in, he gets out.
It's true.
So it's even thematic.
It is. It is a thematic thing. It makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, that
for
was
sure.
good.
That was a good session.
I
It
like
was fun. You guys had a really. You guys already used your one long rest.
We didn't have a choice. Let's be like
No, you had to.
let's be like completely honest. When Krios was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have done that," I was like, I think we would have made you if any of us knew what it was. We would have just wrestled you to the ground and taken
Yeah.
it. You were also almost dead. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we could have taken you.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Mega had his health halved for the first time ever, and also failed the grapple checks. I think for the first time ever.
Well,
twice.
that's what happens when you're not raging, which I also don't understand why. I haven't
It's a
brought
long
up yet.
dungeon. It's a long dungeon, and he's trying to conserve rages at the moment. He doesn't know. No one knows exactly how long it is. No one knows if there's more after the soul engines. No one knows if there's a lot more fighting. So people are doing the conservative thing.
I think Dennis is going to bring it up soon. He's going to be like, "Hey,
We need to fight better. We need to fight at our fullest.
well, no, I'm just going to be
because
like, are you
there's
feeling
also the-
okay? You seem to be taking a lot more damage than normal." Is probably what he'll
I feel
say.
like the other thing is you don't know, like,
Well,
as far as because of time goes, you don't. I don't think anyone thinks they're going to get any form of rest before their shadow too. So people are trying to conserve.
oh, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but Dennis is going to be like, "Are you okay, man? You seem like you're taking like a lot more damage than
He
normal."
took the full 53.
Like,
That thing hits like a truck when it crits.
I've seen Mega get smacked around, but I haven't seen him take a lot of damage. Those are two different things, right? So, I think
I also don't think anyone got. So I tried to say something specific when we fought the Iron Golem at the start of last week. It took physical damage last, so it uses the move that halves your health. I was trying to point out that without saying it, like, because you won't probably see a Golem again. Whenever you deal damage to it, it changes what it does.
Yep.
Because that's the way Chrono Trigger works. If you do physical damage to a Golem, it halves your health. If you do fire, it does a fire move and whatnot.
I noticed that.
I'm surprised that people decided to just take the chance and not try and, like, because having your health is rough at level 11.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one just was like, oh, let's deal another type of damage and see what happens.
I just don't have anything else.
Well,
I'm a
right,
monk.
but like, I guess I was maybe expecting maybe Gerzik would have finished off with the Frostbrand Scimitar, or specifically, or maybe like a cantrip thrown from Trinex or something.
Especially
being
Gerzik,
okay.
who was like, "Oh, the God, oh, the blah, blah. I love Chrono Trigger." Blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, he knew what Golem was.
And then he was just like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do anything about that."
You guys fought 3 Gatos,
We did.
and you guys were fine. They don't do a lot of damage. They're mostly just there to absorb.
Oh yeah. No, that was good.
Stuff.
That was all
It
good.
was a good session. It was fun. Now you guys are in Castlevania. You completed 1 of the 3.
Yes.
We're actually starting essentially. If it plays out at the same pace, it will take 2 more sessions because you guys have completed 1 of the 3 wings in this one. You'll get to the next one, complete 1 of the 3 wings, and then that'll end. and then-
I completely misjudged that encounter. I had never
one?
Castlevania one, I had never
You
played
mean the-
with a lot of those monsters before, and I was like, Donut Tongue Boy looks like he's
So
gonna
the-
be the weakest.
Coolest thing about Castlevania monsters is you can pull just from anything Abyss in
Oh, yeah.
D&D because it's creatures of the night. So
Yeah.
I'm like, the whole theme of that room is a kitchen. So I was like, okay, so what eats a lot as an abyssal thing? And I was like, cool, or necromantic because of ghouls. And it's
Yeah.
like, sweet. That was the first time I've had to run that thing, and that thing hits like a truck with its force
Oh.
damage, especially.
Well, I saw it and I was like, that thing looks goofy. He's probably fine. Let's kill everything else first. He turned out to
and
be
of
like
course,
a big
everyone
one, right?
runs away from it except for the sorcerer who didn't like. I think no one really thought much of it.
Oh yeah,
So,
no,
like,
I thought
we're
this
like,
was
I
fine.
mean, Trinix will be fine, and then it goes up, and I think it halves his health.
Well,
in
no,
a-
he
in a
was able
bite.
to counterspell.
Well, no,
He
the kind
did
of
something. Something happened. Intercept. Something
no,
happened.
he took a lot of damage off of that one.
He did, but it was going to be a lot worse. But he had stopped the first hit or something.
He might have shielded the second time it came around, but it did full damage the first round to him. I remember it halving his health to start, essentially in the first round.
I saw that and I was like, okay, we've been sleeping on this guy. This guy's
Yeah.
scary. But when I first saw him, I was
Well-
like, oh no, he's just like a weird little donut guy with a tongue. And then I like Googled a picture of it because I was like, well,
It's-
what does he
it's-
actually look like?
It's scary.
He's pretty badass. What does he actually look like? He can't look like this weird donut token thing. And then I looked up a picture of it and I was like, oh, okay, this guy's legit. That tongue has spikes on it.
Yeah.
Which I could see in the token after I realized that. I just had it zoomed out a bit. I was like, those are spikes.
I also loved how you guys had 2 failures on a gibbering mouther roll, which is like a low wisdom save to
Oh,
begin
yeah.
with.
Like, that was unacceptable. Like,
And it was a quiet one too. I actually should have had him roll more.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I decided to be like, it's a 10-foot. It was just a little bit of whispers.
he's a shy gibbering mouther.
It's because I forgot to have someone roll. I measured out, saw that it was
10 feet.
I think it was you. You were 20 feet away. I was like, okay, it's 10-foot range. It's a
Yeah.
shy one. It's quiet. It's fine.
mind getting away from me?
2 fails. At least both of the fails were just like do nothing or run in a random direction. I think run in a random direction is one of the best ones if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not surrounded,
For sure.
because at least you get away from having to do the save next turn. But yeah, that was that. We're gonna see what happens next. Well, this coming week is Horde of the Dragon Queen Take 2, and the week after that, though, we are playing.
I have a good way to start it. Kanik is going to live.
Okay,
He's going to continue on. He has to level up, but he's going to continue. So that's good because Mega's character is Behole's playing somebody named Aggie,
which is Mega's
half brother,
half brother. Okay,
and it's good because he actually got to keep the same bond as a result because his bond had to do with his father.
I don't
So
even know what my bond
well,
is.
what I think I'm kind of going to do is anyone who wants this bond can take it, and that's that you're from a village that was ransacked days before Greenest, and you heard about what was happening at Greenest, and you're coming to take revenge. Your city
could-
saw similar fate.
I could go off of the bond that Cheshire died.
I'm going to be okay with anyone who wants to keep their old bond, and then I'm going to let anyone re-roll
I actually
or take that
could,
one.
because your bond was vengeance against dragons because of murdering my village. So
like, that's
technically
that-
it would have
that-
also been Cheshire's village.
So, yeah, so
They
for
killed Wonderland.
for March, it's basically this, like, whether you take the
It's-
new one or the old one, it's the
It's
same.
pretty much
right?
the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have him do the same thing.
And that's kind of what I figured because we didn't really get into any of the bonds yet.
No, we did not.
So nobody really knows what the other people's. That's why I didn't like specific. Well, that's not why, but like that's one of the benefits of you guys not knowing each other's bonds is you can just keep them. You didn't have a chance to role play them except for Mud. And
Mud roleplayed his bond, and it ended up
he role
killing
played it
us.
very well.
Yes, it was
And that-
perfect.
I didn't realize how fucking stupid that bond was.
It was pretty terrible.
But you know what? Let's get away from Horde the Dragon Queen. That wasn't played
Anyway.
last week.
Waterdeep, though.
Waterdeep was interesting. What'd you think of that assault? So basically, what they
I
did
think
was
it worked out okay.
they
I
spent
was
the entire time at the villa. more or
I was
less.
I was expecting less health things, which is the only reason I use sleep. I kept on kind of measuring whether I should use it or not.
Yeah, the way it's supposed to work is like there's town guards everywhere and they're
Yeah,
watching you and they will attack you if they try to enter. So I kind of flavored it that these were guards specific to this house because they do have guards and they do have hired servants.
yeah,
But it's still the same outcome. Like you're not supposed to be able to fight them. You're supposed to sneak in.
right. You're supposed to sneak in and go or go just go another
You're
way.
supposed
Yeah,
to just climb over the fence.
which is what ended up happening.
And you can get through the lock in the front. It's just really, really hard.
It's probably one of those really high DC thieves tool checks.
Yeah.
They do tend to pretty much. I mean, even out of the abyss, the stone doors. I think there were like 25 athletic, a DC 25 athletic checks to push some of the stone doors that required a key. You could have busted them open, but
Also, like
it's
I don't know how
no
to
one can.
explain to Astolia that like sometimes it says do this type of check and sometimes it just says there's a lock and you have to try to guess at what kind of check it would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then some of them are magic locks and some of them say they're reinforced locks and like you have to like guess. Like I don't really
Yeah,
know how to explain to them that like not every lock is the same lock.
that's true. Well, that's normal though. I think that's actually realistic.
Like you think about the way I kind of think about it is like if you look at I know I'm going to nerd out here for a second but like disc detainer locks are not the same as your standard door lock, right? And it requires a different skill and a different set of tools to open a disc detainer lock. In fact, like the pick is nowhere near the same. So, you know, it stands to reason that to open something like that, you know, you're going to
Yeah,
need a different skill set.
for sure. So yeah, we did things. We snuck in eventually.
And yeah, you guys snuck into the house and it was being ransacked by Zents while you guys were
Yeah,
there.
and finally people understand that Zents are bad. Everyone's like, they're so good, and I'm like, they're bad, and I just killed them. I tried to kill them. I don't do a lot of damage.
And yeah, every encounter I've run so far that has exposition as part of the encounter has not been able to run the way it's written.
Were we supposed to talk to the Zents?
No. You were supposed to kill the Zents, but you weren't supposed to sneak into the room behind the dude and talk to the girl before you clear the house.
Oh,
You're not
okay.
supposed to do that.
Well, you have. I guess it's because you have someone with teleport at this point. They probably weren't expecting that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, one sec. I just got to answer a quick text.
Vamp. I need to vamp.
Yeah, vamp. Nah, 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 nah. Quick, sing a song. I'm just updating my manager on something. All right.
Hear me. Oh my goodness. Are we back?
Hey, we're
Am I
back.
good now?
And
Okay.
so, yeah. So you're not supposed to do that. You're also not really supposed to talk to the husband very much. Like you're
Yeah.
supposed to ask him like specific like you remember when I was like, "Oh, you know, I kind of like divulged information randomly." You're supposed to like
Yeah.
specifically ask about certain things that you guys
I'm not
don't
smart
know
enough.
about because you guys didn't intrigue the other dungeons. You just ran in and ran out. So you don't really
Yeah.
know what to ask and you don't really understand the plot of the whole story because you skipped 2 dungeons.
Yeah.
So I'm finding it very difficult to get you guys caught up to where you need to be
It was
story wise.
really hard to explain where we're going next to our new player. She asked me, and I was like, well, we did this and we did that. And honestly, I have no clue.
Yeah, you're kind of about to find out something. You're also supposed to come here before you kill the Nimblewright.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I thought we were supposed to do that. That's where I wanted to go. And Sully was like, Rouse was like, oh, that seems like a dangerous place.
Thank God I gave you guys the Stone of Galore early. Because I don't know how I would have unfucked this. I gave it to you guys so early. Like, ridiculously early, knowing that there was no way you would even do an Arcana check on it.
No, I mean, I'd have negative Arcana. There was no way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no way. But yeah. That's That was Waterdeep. We pretty much did that, but we started up with the end of it. We had the end of it was a thing.
And so you guys got to almost the end of it.
Yeah.
You're about to do another fight. But the way that's supposed to work is that lady is supposed to give the Stone of Galore to the Nimblewright, and the Nimblewright leaves before you even get there. And then you're supposed to go hunt
track
it.
down the. Okay.
That's how that spot's supposed to run.
So was there really a reason for us even to go into this manor at this point?
Yes.
We got some confusing lore.
Yeah, that's it.
We saved a child.
And
some servants.
A lot of it's really confusing right now because you guys have done a lot of stuff out of order. So like I'm trying to feed you the enough information to get to the next point, basically.
Yeah. We don't have much left of this, right? We're about to be 4 and this ends at 5.
Yeah, you're almost done of Waterdeep.
And then Dungeon of the Mad Mage is after.
Yeah. I mean, I say almost done, but like there's still quite a bit left.
But we like to rush things.
There's chapter 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 are villain specific. So there's still 2 chapters.
Oh, so there's 2 chapters then. There's 5, and then there's 1 villain specific chapter.
Yeah.
For us. Okay.
And you guys can. I'm getting the feeling that you guys are going to choose the Zents as your main villain.
I want to.
You guys get to pick, so you definitely can. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to frame it that way at this point, so it makes sense canonically because you don't even know any of the other villains except for the Xanathar. And
we know the Xanathar and the Zents. Those are our 2 that we really know.
What are we on now? Chapter 3. Chapter 4 is interesting because depending on which villain you pick, there are 10 encounters, and they all happen in different orders. And there's 2 variable ones that may or may not appear. So like
that's cool.
Most of them get the same 6, and then there's 2 that kind of flip flop between the 4 of them.
Gotcha.
But that part's really cool. I can't wait till we get to that. I'm pretty excited that Vanya's going to join.
We're about to. Yeah, we're gonna roll up. Not gonna roll up. We're gonna finish up.
Can you
3 like?
One thing that I think would be beneficial for her, because she's never played D&D before, it's a little bit of a, I'm not even going to say it's a spoiler, because if you guys choose a different villain, it may not even happen. Can you go through chase rules in the DMG?
Oh, sure.
I think she would really appreciate knowing that ahead of time.
We should go through that with everyone.
I'll go through it with I'm going to go through it with everyone, but I feel like someone who doesn't know the rules would appreciate hearing it before we talk about it. Yeah. I'm going to do the same thing with my wife. I'm going to be like, okay, here's how chase rules work. I'm going to explain it again, but you should read this section of this book now so that you have a better understanding when we get there. Exactly. May or may not happen. It's one of the possible encounters is a chase sequence, and I'm not going to tell you if you're chasing or being chased, but those are both possibilities, pursuers and pursuants.
That's cool.
So that's basically all they did in Waterdeep. That was the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. We got to fight next week into a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah. And then it's kind of interesting. Like I said, Waterdeep is mostly intrigue. Like when you go through those dungeons, you're supposed to learn things about the different people, and you're supposed to pick a villain based on the intrigue that you learned along the way. Because you've already been to a Zent spot, you've been to a Xanathar spot, you had a chance to go to, I'm not even going to say the other spot, and you were at a different spot.
What is the other? Am I allowed to know what the other one is even called?
All I'll say is there's a noble family in town that's technically a villain, and there is a drow that's a villain, and you have met one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna take a guess as the drow. You don't tell me whether it was or not. That'd be my guess, just because I know drows are good with magic and disguise.
Well, I did tell you.
You told me that there was a disguise. We didn't know it was them.
Yeah, you have met someone in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those were the 4 possible ones, but you don't know anything about 2 of them, so I just don't see it going.
It's Zents or Xanathars, and I'm pretty sure we're shooting for Zents.
Well, yeah, you don't know anything about what the Xanathar's motives are, or like what.
We just know the Zents want to bring what's his face? Starts with an M. He's coming back.
Manchun.
He's coming back. His clones are coming back. It's not a good sign.
Yeah.
No one wants
Manchun
Manchun's
is
clone.
scary business, but
When did Manchun become a thing? Was he always the leader of the Zents?
oh yeah, Manchun yeah, maybe not leader, but he's been involved with them for a long time.
Oh, he's the founder of the Zents. I need to figure that out.
I was gonna say if he's not the founder, like he's like he took them over very early. Yeah. But I feel like that's the way you guys are gonna go, and we have to decide to after chapter 4.
Is it 4?
After
next chapter?
After chapter 4, you can choose to spend a lot of time or just keep going. It doesn't really matter, so it'll kind of depend.
I feel like we're going to keep going knowing us. Even though it might make sense to spend a lot of time, we're going to be like, let's keep going.
It's not really going to make a difference either way. It'll just change what season you hit Dungeon of the Mad Mage in. And I don't know if that matters because I haven't even looked at that yet. But if the season matters in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I might look up if the season matters.
Mad Mage takes place entirely in the Underdark, right?
It does, but that doesn't mean the season that you ended on in Waterdeep doesn't change how it starts. Okay, that's true.
Because like, there's no seasons in the Underdark.
There's not, but it may determine,
what happens at the beginning.
If you played this and it was summer, do this. Else pick one. It might do stuff like that. I imagine
the villain we pick does do something with the beginning of Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
And the villain's linked to the season in the beginning.
So it might have something to do with the season.
Like when you guys started in summer, it was because I picked the noble as your villain to start with.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And then we went and didn't learn anything about the noble or the other one. And we
and also I wanted you guys to hit like one festival that had meaning.
Yeah.
And that festival had meaning because that was the one with the nimble rights and
that definitely makes
sense. I was like, it doesn't matter how often the villain can change every day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to match the season, but in the beginning, the season matches the villain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if Dungeon of the Mad Mage is like, if you ended here, do this, I'll look ahead a little bit and I'll be like, look, do you guys want to advance time before you go to the because like even at the end of this campaign, I guess you guys could choose a season. You don't even have to go down today or tomorrow. You could technically wait years and run your tavern. I wouldn't give you all the gold at that point, but
we could take a little while.
You could wait a month and be like, hey, let's run a tavern. I'd probably let you get away with a month because that's only 4 10-day, but
yeah, it's not that much gold. But yeah, that's cool.
And what happened in Out of the Abyss? What we do there?
You guys were in Blingdenstone. You guys learned some Undercommon.
And then we got wrecked.
And you got wrecked. You guys learned some Undercommon. You guys did your little school field trip, which turned into trading someone some gems, which seemed kind of fishy. But no one really knew Undercommon at that point. You hadn't learned your rough Undercommon. So it was once again Rusty versus... Rusty talking to one person. And yeah, it was a really cool thing because you guys ended up having a week of time go by. So I was able to make that a lot easier for me to give you all of the different side quests because you would have all heard it.
Yeah.
And then you guys talked to a priest of the Speaking Stones that said, hey, can you cleanse this temple site for me? Because you all seem like you're good adventurers because Rusty was looking for different spells potentially written down.
I feel like if we ever see him again, I'm going to insight check the shit out of that guy.
You're always more than welcome to.
Well, now that I know Undercommon a little bit, I feel like I'm going to do
now that. You actually can insight check things.
Yeah, before it was
everyone can finally play the game. You probably would still have disadvantage on it because you don't understand the intricacies of Undercommon enough to be able to tell whether someone's lying as far as through speech.
I'm hoping that like I can do it based on his facial expressions.
Maybe. I mean, we'll cross that bridge.
Like when he says, maybe this isn't a good idea. Does he have a giant smile on his face? Stuff like that.
You'll have to see. But yeah, so they got a quest to go to a place called Rockblight, which was, you had also heard about that because you heard about Ogremark's Bane, which had been doing some bad stuff there. You guys went to go to Rockblight to cleanse a area. It is a very freeform area. There is no like Rockblight's a big area, and you can go in multiple ways from the start. You guys ended up going down a dead end way, but like that makes sense because that's one of the only features that's mentioned in the description is a waterfall. So I completely get going down that dead end way. You fought a ghost. There was a whole thing with a house that wasn't actually on the map. There's a whole back and forth. Some really good clips came out of that where you guys tried to drive me over an edge and just like make me close the program down.
I still want to go back and rewatch that to find out where the line was. Like, where did people, like, how many people actually didn't know and how many people were messed? Because, like, until you drew the line, I had no idea.
There was, I really wish that that house was on the map. The book says the ghost goes into a house and it doesn't show you where. It's like, you do this, after a period of time, a ghost appears. It uses its horrifying visage. It uses Withering Touch. If it gets attacked, it runs away. And it runs into a house.
Is there a house further back in the...
Nope. Runs into a nearby house.
Maybe it's supposed to run out the front.
Possibly? I don't think so.
But like that's still like 100 miles away from a house, so I don't know.
It plays it like it's supposed to have a house nearby it runs into. So yeah, you guys did that, then you went up the waterfall. Everyone was questioning whether the person who sent you on this quest was trying to get you to desecrate at that point, or the Snog was questioning the morals of the person who sent you there.
Yep.
You got into a fight with some gargoyles, an earth elemental. Rusty went down. For once, Snog didn't actually go down. It wasn't Snog that almost went down. It was Rusty that just straight up got decked, got crit by an earth elemental.
Yeah, when I saw we were fighting things that were going to take definitely half damage because they're made of stone, I was like, it's time to also take half damage.
Yeah, you guys, this is where you're supposed to learn that things take half damage and then get ways to deal around that after doing stuff.
Yeah.
That requires getting through that.
I decided that Snog would probably know that something made of rock wouldn't take full damage from any of his weapons.
Yeah.
That's an easy one, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't give him the rest of my knowledge about those things, but I felt like that one was pretty straightforward.
We're going to learn more about Earth Elementals, I'm guessing, because you're going to want to go talk to the guy, or at least someone.
Yeah, for sure.
About them. So you're going to learn some more about
to be dealt
those.
With.
And then you're going to come back in and go a little bit further. I was talking with Rufus. There is one mechanic of something that's coming up that's going to be interesting. Some new players might not like it as much, but it's okay. It's just the way the game plays.
How long has Rusty been playing D&D?
Rusty's been playing D&D since before I started.
Okay, so Rusty's well-versed. So we've only really got one new player.
He might end up being fine. Everyone might end up being fine with it. We'll see what happens.
I think we'll be okay with it because Rusty's been playing forever. Sildar's a DM sometimes. I'm a DM sometimes, and Niskra's played like every other tabletop game in existence except D&D.
So honestly, he's totally fine with anything that happens.
I don't know if I got a clip of that one when you were like, make a wisdom save, and they failed. You've been Cthulhu'd!
Yeah.
I don't think I got a clip of that one.
Make a wisdom save. Yeah. But yeah, this is a really interesting place. It is interesting hearing how the group's been, like what your group thoughts are on the place as a whole, the order of things that need to be done, what triggers what. I'm just sitting back and like, this is interesting. Because of course I know exactly what'll happen and when it'll happen.
One thing I need to know about this campaign specifically. Are we doing to you what you guys are doing to me, or am I just like getting the raw end of this running a pre-made
as far as the story thing goes?
Oh yeah, like are we following the book at all?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your story is escaping the Underdark with also learning about terrible, terrible threats that are happening.
But like,
to the
are
Underdark
we
at the
skipping
same time.
like everything, or are we doing the things that you're putting in front of us?
You're doing the things.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. You almost skipped Neverlight Grove.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
all that would have done was just make it so that you didn't know about one of the demon lords.
Like thematically, Snog didn't want to be there, and
Sure,
I knew
but he
that
also knew he wanted to live, and he was going to go with a group.
That's why I don't understand splitting the party in general. Like
We don't do that at all in this campaign. Like we've actually been very much
Niskra
even for
split
shopping.
once. This session, he went out of sight. And I'm pretty sure he was second guessing that after turn 2 because he came
He turned
running.
back. Yeah, I mean, so like nothing happened over there. I think it was smart to kind of play a scout because I think he thought he was hidden because he did do a stealth roll. But yeah, like
if he keeps doing it though, he will get popped
at some point. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens when we re-enter. There's a couple cool things. There's the one thing I was questioning a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. It should be a fun session because you guys are probably going to go back out, take a long rest, come back in because there's nothing that stops you that you know of at the moment. There's always the question of time and whether things happen. You don't know how generous they are or if they're not generous at all. We'll see what happens with that. I'm obviously not going to be like, yeah, you guys should be doing this right now or whatever because I'm really enjoying. Because when I planned it out, I was like, okay, they're probably going to do this first, followed by this, followed by that. And I'm not going to tell you whether you've done what I thought yet, but it's been fun to hear. It's one of those things where you're given a very large area to do whatever you want in. And it's one of those DM situations where it's fun to just hear what everyone thinks. And
so now that I'm telling you now, I am firmly planted on doing the Gold Whiskers last. Is there a specific quest? I don't want to know which one. Is there a quest that advances the story? A specific quest?
No. There is a specific quest. There's a specific, so there is one that advances the story, but it doesn't stop you from doing anything else.
That's what I mean, like end scene. You're done.
So there's no end scene. You actually can choose the end scene.
Okay.
That is in the player's hand to choose the end scene.
Because Snog definitely still thinks that, dealing with choosing which side of the genocide we probably want to be on, because he still sees it that way. That's all we've done so far is pick which side we want to kill.
There's no way to actually parlay or whatever. It's just
every
death.
time. Well, it's like, do you want to help the were-rats or do you want to help the other guys? Because clearly we're going to get there and they're either going to fight us and we're going to murder them, or they're going to be like, hey, we're actually the good guys. You got to go kill the guards who are hoarding all the spell gems. I see that coming. I think the were-rats, I'm putting it on.
The really shady gem dealer could have actually been a good guy trying to get gems to the were-rats if they're good.
He could be.
It's possible.
But I think when we get there, the were-rats are going to be, we're the good guys. The guards are the bad guys. They're hoarding all the spell gems so they can kill us. I don't know. I think that's what they're going to say. I don't think it's necessarily true, but I think that's what they're going to say. And yet again, we're going to have to choose who we want to kill. And the Snog way to go is going to be, well, there's way less of you than the guards, and we're getting maybe paid, probably not. We're going to get to live here for another week if we kill you.
I think you were essentially your payment was a way out of the Underdark, which is technically the best payment anyone could get.
Oh yeah,
any one of you guys could get.
And Snog believes
that's more valuable than any money at this point. You were told that if you helped out the guards, you would get out of the Underdark.
But theoretically, if we killed all the guards at the request of the were-rats, theoretically they could also get us to the surface.
Potentially, yes. In theory.
Theoretically. I think that's what our next big decision is which group of people do we want to slaughter? I think that's the next big decision we're going to make.
I will tell you that I looked at Chapter 8 again, and you might think to yourself, damn, the beginning of this was complicated. Well, you haven't seen nothing yet. I'm just looking through it, and then my mind starts hurting. I'm like, good God, why?
That's how I feel about Waterdeep sometimes. There's all these things happening and everything's happening out of order, and it's how do I get this?
So I think this is complicated and different from Waterdeep,
but
probably. I can't tell you how.
Probably very different, but I feel like it's
But it does still do the same complicated where, you have to untangle things. You guys, I haven't had to untangle a single thing yet.
I'm just waiting to run a campaign where the party takes the hooks and goes for them.
What was the hook we were supposed to take in Waterdeep to start?
The dungeons.
The
dungeons had all the hooks.
The Kenku dungeon had hooks in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys didn't explore. There were notes. There was like
Oh, there was a lot of
information.
stuff.
There was like people to talk to. You could have taken their clothing and tried to sneak into other like it's all intrigue and sneaking around. So like you doing the sneaking around stuff, you're just sneaking around in places that really don't matter.
Yeah, I feel like because we've done that, we don't expect to get anything out of sneaking around or the intrigue stuff.
Yeah, it's because you skip 90% of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should
Anyway.
open Fantasy Grounds though, because I just saw that one of the players did, so I'll open it so that he can actually do stuff. But yeah, that was all the D&D.
Who's doing stuff?
Kanik looks like he's going to level up.
Okay, can you switch it over? Actually, no, it should be fine.
What?
You don't have to worry about it because we already set up everything for Gandalf.
Yeah, I just
Should just be
opened
able
that
to hop
campaign
in.
by accident. So, yeah. Anything else for Out of the Abyss?
No, that's it. I'm excited to see where we go. I'm really excited to see you guys. Sadly, we're not going to get into it until after Keegan's break as far as the next actual part. I'm interested to see what you guys' thoughts are.
When's he done?
He's going to be doing a break on the, I think it's 28th to 14th.
Okay, so we still got 2 more weeks.
We got 2 more weeks.
Okay. And is he gone?
If it ends up perfectly, I think he's gone the 14th, yeah. If it ends up perfectly, you guys will hit this point on the 28th, and then you'll be able to...
level up.
Yeah, if you guys hit this point on the 28th, I actually can run some stuff without him for the next couple of weeks, and it's fine.
Oh.
If you do not, then we might just see if anyone wants to do like a 1-shot or a 2-shot. Maybe actually show Niskra an actual campaign.
No.
Anyway.
Into the Abyss, the 1-shot, the prequel. Why were the people at the Drow concentration camp so mean? Their parents beat them. Next time on Into the Abyss.
They're Drow. That's all. That's it. Anyway.
That was a good download
Rufus.
section.
That was a good... You mean dungeon section?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. We do them in the right order now.
Yeah, now we do them in the right order. Because you told me to. You forced me to.
I did. I put my
You're
foot
like,
down.
Cal, do this right.
I drew a line in the sand and I said, Cal,
And
I'm done with this chaos and anarchy.
I was like, but I'm the secretary. And you just said, I don't care. It was rude.
Yeah. I said, you don't think I can hire another one of those? Oda's at me every day. When you going to fire Cal? When you going to fire Cal? I want to be on this show. It's the me show. I'm like, look,
I can see that.
he changed the schedule. I didn't anticipate it. I have to reward him for a year. Now, I got to find another impossible task for you to complete.
I'm not gonna say anything about it, but Otis planning some cool stuff that I'm gonna be part of. You'll see probably on his channel. I don't know how the streaming part of it's gonna work, but that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
No.
We'll talk more about it as it actually gets finalized.
No.
I literally don't want to say anything else because not a lot of it's been
Fine.
finalized. I wanted to start the little bit of hype. I wanted to get the hype earworm out in some people's
Hear
ear,
that?
'cause
Cal might maybe do something with Oda someday, everybody.
well, no, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
just
The
picking
question
dates,
is
yeah.
when and like that. So we're doing some stuff. So we'll talk about it more as we get closer to it.
We've
but
decided
I
we're
wanted to
both
put out-
celebrating Christmas next year.
I just want to put out that hype earworm, but like something's happening, and I'm gonna be part of it. There's gonna be some good stuff that's happening. It's positive. That's all. That's all.
Speaking of downloads, did you know that if you have Amazon Prime,
You can sub for free.
you can sub for free? We've got 5
You can
of
sub
those.
with Jeff Bezos' money.
Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
You tired of rich people going to the moon? Spend their money, not yours.
The dude's got a lot of it. Take it away from him. Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Get it the heck out of here. The heck.
You know what else? You know who else should get the heck out of here? Boycotters.
Sure. That's a little bit more of an aggressive stance that I was willing to take on everything, but I'm okay with that.
It's a little too aggro for my taste, but sure, weird flex, but okay.
I was going to go with something a little less aggressive, but you know what? At this point, let's go.
I mean, if you're, that's all I got, man.
Yeah. Harry Potter came out. As far as early access goes, it's amazing. Love it.
People
I'm a
are
big fan.
saying that everybody should boycott Twitch because Twitch ran an ad for the game.
Yeah,
That's
there's that group of people we talked about last time is still very loud and trying to essentially make you feel bad about buying the game because the author of the books, J.K. Rowling, will make a pittance of money compared to the money that she currently has.
It's true. She might make a schmeckle. And
She might make a schmeckle
we
compared
should-
to the multiple
we
millions
should-
of dollars that she currently has.
we should all, not support that.
So I'm just gonna go out of I'm just gonna go on a limb and say rather than boycott this game, and honestly the only thing you're gonna do is hurt Avalanche by doing this. You're not gonna actually hurt J.K. Rowling. You know what would hurt J.K. Rowling? Donating to a trans rights group. That money that you might spend on the game.
Or hear me
That
out.
would potentially hurt J.K. Rowling's stance.
Hear me out. Just stop talking about her in general so that she just fades into nothingness and no
That
one
works.
cares anymore.
Because
Like, that's
honestly, I mean, this is a little bit ambitious to say, but I feel like if people stopped just associating J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter, eventually that just wouldn't be an association anymore.
Yeah.
You would be able to just take her out of it fully, even though she would be making money. Like, she already has enough money. You are not hurting her.
Boycott the movies
not
where
buying
she
the
actually
game.
makes the money. Like, hit her where it
makes a good
hurts.
amount of money, I think.
She makes the money on the
Sure.
movies. She makes the money on the books. Hit her where it hurts.
Sure.
But like, I've said this for like many years about like, like when there's,
Didn't Nestolia say something on last podcast, like separating the art from the artist or something like that?
yeah, that's not the direction I'm going though.
I wanted to bring that quote up, but then
Yeah,
that was relevant.
I
and
believe
is
that
relevant.
entirely. I think you should definitely separate the work from the artist. But you
Yeah.
know when there's like a mass shooting and it gets covered on the news for months and months and months and months?
Yeah.
What if,
It's depressing.
instead of, if we don't plan on doing anything about it anyway, because clearly, what if we just stopped talking about that person so they didn't get any recognition for what they did?
I feel like
Talk about the issue, but like just never mention
Yeah.
their name.
no,
don't
that
televise.
makes sense. Talk about the issue still. I'm okay with that.
Don't televise their trial. Don't put them in the paper. Just
I really think we
generically,
should be-
shootings
yeah.
are bad and a shooting
Well-
happened. Who did it? Who knows? Who cares? It doesn't really fucking matter. Let's not give him a minute of like fame. It doesn't matter.
Let's
Nameless
stop
Joe
the
did
shooting
it.
from happening. Yeah. Nameless Joe.
But like, don't like give them fame. Don't
Yeah.
give them their 2 minutes of fame. Just say some asshole shot up a school. What's his name? Who the fuck cares? Like,
Yeah.
don't give them that. Same with
Look at
this.
that whole thing.
Don't give her the fame. Just stop saying her name. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like ignore it and make it go away, but like stop bringing her into the public eye and media, and slowly she'll fade away, because honestly, the movies weren't that great after the first few and I didn't read any of the books. So
I like the books a lot, but like I've also read the books and like they're owned at this point. I'm not gonna rebuy them.
I saw the movie before I knew about the books.
I
So
read the
like
books.
I'm not like a
first.
huge reader, or I wasn't back then for sure. So like I didn't read the books and I stopped
gets me-
watching the movies.
It's the people that go into Twitch chats and call people bigots for playing the game in the first place. It's the mentality of you're not boycotting, you're a terrible person.
Bigot, okay, sheeple. Like, why are you boycotting this?
Because someone told them to.
Because there was a forum that said that it was a funny
There,
aha.
we've had this conversation where these are the same kind of people that will give a homeless person things they need and then televise it or
Ah,
stream it because they
I-
need someone
I was
to
gonna
tell them
mute
they're
you.
a good person.
I was going to
'cause
mute
they're
you before
not.
you said the last part. He was like, just the kind of people who give homeless people things. Mute. But I didn't get there quick
so
enough.
rude. But yeah,
didn't
these are
get
the
there
kind of
quick enough.
people that do that and need recognition for it. They're the kind of people calling other people bigots for this because they need
Yeah.
people to be like, "Oh, you're a good person because you're doing this,"
I mean,
or "You're a bad person because you're doing." Like, no,
I'm a firm
stop.
believer that the reason this kind of stuff is on the rise is because of the lack of fear of getting punched in the face. And what I mean by that is when you
Are you trying to say like online
Yeah.
exists because everything's done online?
yeah, like
Okay, I
when
get what you're coming
when
from.
you're doing it online, no one's gonna deck you or like really
That's why
question
people.
you on
I
it,
mean,
right?
you're getting to the same issue as like why people are so toxic in games. They're never gonna have anything happen.
Yeah,
to them.
that's
They're gonna
what
get
I
a
mean,
ban.
right?
They're gonna get like a minor ban.
There's, like,
People say terrible things online because no one's gonna get punched in the face for it. They're just gonna get. They're gonna fade away into the background and they're gonna be like, yeah, I said something terrible. No one cares.
like I feel like in like real life, when you say stuff like that, you get punched in the face, and there's like a human primal urge to not be punched in the face. Like I feel like that's
don't want to get punched in the face.
I feel like unless you're into like MMA, most people don't want to get punched in the face.
Right.
And I mean, I assume
yeah.
they don't either, but they get a payday out of it, so it's better for them. But
Yeah.
like, you know,
No, it's been getting me seeing everything about the people who are specific. There was a site that was up for who's streaming Harry Potter. Go unfollow, unsubscribe, make them feel terrible, call them a bigot. So it's like you're not even boycotting. You're not even just boycotting at this point. You're actually just doing things to make other people feel terrible
but also
for
like
something that doesn't even make sense.
let's like be real for a second. If the reason you're boycotting this is because someone made like the creator of the original IP made you feel bad,
Why are you
would you
listening
make
to so much of the music you're listening to right now?
not even that, but like why would you want
I
to
know.
make somebody else feel bad? Like why would you want to make them feel like that person made you feel?
Because they want to feel offended on behalf of other people.
And that's where I'm kind of getting at. Like if you're truly a person who is affected by what the creator of the intellectual property who's not really getting paid at all for this did, why would you want to spread that further to somebody else who's completely uninvolved?
Yeah.
That it doesn't add up to me, which means like
There is
it's- so in my mind you're just not someone who was ever affected by this if you're the one vocal. Like I don't care if you don't want to buy the game.
Right, they just
That's
don't buy
not
it.
the issue. The issue isn't that you didn't buy the game because you disagree. The issue is the people who are making it a big deal.
Yeah. Just don't buy the game.
Yeah, just be quiet.
If you don't
Sit
want it,
down,
just don't
shut up,
buy
and
it.
don't buy the game. And if I ask you, hey, did you get the game? And you say, no, actually, I don't really agree with, J.K. Rowling's stance on this, so I decided not to. I'd be like,
Then
hey,
sure.
you know what? Fair game. You don't want to buy it? Don't buy it. It's a free market. But the second you're like,
Yeah.
everybody should not buy this game because I'm upset. It's like, okay. Should we all like just go back in time and like just say anybody who watched Eddie Murphy's Raw is just a terrible person because it made me upset? Like it was a very
Yes.
offensive comedy special. Should we all just be upset at people who watched
I'm
that?
upset right now.
Like,
I'm upset at
yeah.
you.
I've been upset my whole life about it. And now I finally get to talk about it right here live on camera and
Yeah.
my
It's-
wood panel apartment.
It's terrible. Hopefully, I mean, it will because it's the internet. It'll blow over before you know it. And then we'll move on to the next thing to get angry about for other people.
You know what else is terrible?
Justin Roland. I don't know if we're actually going there
Yeah,
yet.
let's go there now. I was gonna say the Google one I had is pretty much just a passing remark.
Same thing. Yeah.
Really, I don't have much more other than that one thing I told you about it. So, yeah. So
Justin Roland's bad.
well, he's bad, but Adult Swim is backpedaling pretty hard,
Of course they are.
and like I'm trying to discern if it was true. Not what he did. He probably did it, and he's probably an asshole. But like what Adult Swim is saying, I'm trying to decide if this is a PR
Because they're
crisis.
backpedaling and saying that he wasn't as involved, correct?
So there's a few things. The first article I seen says Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland haven't spoken or been in the same room together in years.
Right, because they're trying to. Because Dan Harmon's still around, so they want to make it
Yeah.
seem that Dan Harmon didn't know anything that was happening, right?
And then the next thing I saw was Justin Roiland hasn't been involved in writing Rick and Morty in several years.
Yeah, they're trying to distance those shows from his name because they. Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's true, but they're doing that, of course, just so that people aren't like, well, I'm not going to watch Rick and Morty now because Justin Roiland exists.
And then they were like, well, it's even more than that. He didn't. And then they go as far as to say he had no interest in doing anything other than the voice acting. So,
Yeah,
like-
it almost feels like they're backpedaling too hard for it to be all true. Like it almost feels
Yeah.
like it's too much. I would understand if they said that he hasn't written in a while because he just does a lot of voice acting. Okay, whatever.
Either that, or if they said, a lot of the stuff he wrote, we weren't comfortable airing.
Sure, that would have been okay with. I would have been okay with them saying that, but this seems like they're just trying to extra backpedal for PR.
They definitely are, because the first episode of the show has a teenager shoving something the size of like this up his asshole. So,
Yep.
Welcome
to Rick and Morty.
I don't think the show really had a line to cross. I think they kind of crossed it
the line
first
was
episode.
never there.
So.
Yeah, that's like one of Rick and Morty's things people watch it for, is because there is no line,
and like
it doesn't exist.
I just kind of took a firm stance that until they put it on a streaming platform that I can access, I'm going to watch it, because I really don't give two shits enough to pirate it. I really don't. I don't care enough about Rick and Morty to maybe get an email from my internet
I enjoyed
provider.
it, but yeah, like I wouldn't. I understand that stance that you take.
If they want to put it on Netflix, or if they want to put it on something I can get that I already have, I'm not going to pay more for Rick and Morty. It's not that good. Inside Job on Netflix is, in my opinion, just as good, if not maybe better in some ways.
I guess you watch that.
I like that a lot more than Rick and Morty. I find that it's got the same level of crazy, but not the same level of what the fuck. Because it's all about conspiracy theories, and that there's like a company that manages and does all the conspiracy theories, or like tries to keep them under wraps, I guess is more accurate, because in this world they're all true. So like lizard people exist, and this is the company hiding it, kind of stuff. I think it's better. It's less crazy. It's a little less out there. It's, maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand Rick and Morty. Maybe my IQ is not high enough to get the jokes, but I don't know. I don't think Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland really have a one-up on me in that respect. So the show can only be as smart as its smartest writer, and one of them's going to jail for imprisoning someone.
One of them's going to jail because he did some terrible things.
Look, if I was going to do a crime, I'd never get caught, because I'd pick a crime that's easy to hide, like petty theft.
Rufus is currently admitting to doing crimes.
I've done so many crimes, it's not even
Send
funny.
the Mounties.
My favorite
That's
crime
what you guys have for police, right? Mounties?
Yeah. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They park their moose on your lawn. That's their
Are you going to fight him with those beaver nunchucks?
You know it.
That's called back to an old podcast episode.
Fight me outside. I'll be waiting.
The clip exists.
It does.
On TikTok. It's somewhere.
I don't think it's a clip. I think it's just a TikTok, but
it might just be a TikTok. Those are back in the days where we just did TikToks. Anyway.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Speaking of terrible.
Hasbro's
now you can
terrible.
Do your... Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do your pass to the Google AI, but that's fine.
I'll hit them at the end. It's only, like I said, I've only got one sentence for them, so we'll save them for last.
So you have a little more invested in this than I do, or you used to at least.
I have more people who enjoy this game, so I know
so explain to me
about
exactly what Hasbro is doing to Magic: The Gathering.
So, first of all, it started before this. Before OGL, Wizards decided... So, you need a bit of background if you don't know anything about Magic: The Gathering. Magic: The Gathering has a list called the Reserve List. And the point of the Reserve List is these are cards that will never, ever, ever be reprinted. They're collector's items. Yeah, you can play them in certain formats, but we are never, ever going to reprint these cards or cards that share the same text. So they're never going to rename a card with the same text. And there's like supposedly legal documentation that like protects the collectors in some way. I don't know a lot about that.
Gotcha.
But before the OGL agreements and shit, they reprinted some of those cards, but did not make them legal for play. So they pissed off the player community.
Pissed off the collector. Like that's literally just
both
move to piss people off.
Both communities, right? So the collectors are pissed because they just devalued a bit. And the players are pissed because they can't use the cards. So nobody was happy with that. So now Hasbro has decided that they're just going to tank their stock, I guess.
Yeah, like they're literally just screwing themselves over.
So
There's nothing else you're getting from that.
I'm going to read directly from the article here because I don't want to say it wrong and I don't fully understand stock dilution. But Hasbro's continues to dilute their brand value of its popular Magic the Gathering card game, according to a Tuesday note from Bank of America, which says the company faces a steep decline in its share price if it continues to destroy the goodwill of its customer base. So basically, the bank reiterated its underperforming rating for Hasbro and its $42 price target, which represents the potential downside from 29% in current levels. So right now they're projecting Wizards of the Coast, based on its current decisions in Magic the Gathering, is going to go down 29% by over monetizing the brand, is essentially what they're saying. And I think
That's what
that
they're doing.
is maybe some of the more online stuff. But it says mainly Hasbro's is attempting to squeeze as much profit as possible from its Wizards products in the short term without any thought to long-term durability of the brand, and over monetization is irking customers. I'm trying to figure out what the most recent thing was that did that. Now they're talking about OGL again.
Yeah. They're talking about
sorry.
OGL
I
and more
understand what
printing.
happened here. I understand a bit more now. So basically, the OGL agreements have tanked Wizard stock, which has tanked the price of Wizards cards, which is, pissing
Tanked
off
everything.
the people playing
And
that game.
people are more angry now, and yeah.
So basically, their market share is being diluted because of all of their bad decisions, and it's actually affecting the Magic the Gathering brand, which is huge because collectors and players have millions of dollars worth of cards. Like,
Yeah.
while I don't watch the show Pawn Stars, there's a clip that showed a Black Lotus valued at $86,000 single card.
Yeah, Black Lotus is super. What did they reprint? Was Black Lotus one of the ones they reprinted or no?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
because that would have been the kicker because that's like one of the highest price cards that exists.
It was a 6.5 CGC rated Black Lotus. It wasn't even a 10. It was a 6.5, and it was like $80,000 single card. Yeah. Now, mind you, that's like the most expensive or one of the most expensive
Black Lotus
cards in the
is
game.
The most expensive. I think it's the most expensive one in Magic.
Likely, because it was a limited run and there's an alpha and a beta set. So an alpha Black Lotus is worth even more because they had like printer issues and stuff. But by devaluing their stock, they devalue their aftermarket values on their products to a degree. And people are upset about that, and rightfully so. I don't know. I feel like if you buy a card in hopes that it'll gain value.
I mean, it's not even that it's gaining value at that point. It's that it's now losing value. You had it at a certain value. Maybe you could also be people just like collecting things.
It's a trading card game, not a collectible card game. And I think there's an important differentiation.
I would be angry if the big kicker in this is that they decided to not make it come back to play. They literally printed things that collectors were using just to piss them off.
Let's see, what did they reprint? Reserve list reprints.
Like there's actually no point in doing that.
Here we go. The Magic the Gathering includes reserve list reprints and 999 30th anniversary edition reprints. So they also charged like $1,000 for these reprints. Oh my god, they weren't even guaranteed cards.
Damn.
Oh, here we go. Wizards of the Coast will be printing a special product for collectors at high-end price. Cards from Magic's first set alpha will be available in the 30th anniversary product, which includes 4 booster packs of 15 cards. 60 cards for $1,000. $250 a pack.
It's not worth it.
All cards will not be tournament legal and include a special back to differentiate them from regular Magic cards. There was Ancestral Recall was one of them, I think, based on that. Okay. I want to know the list of cards that were available.
It's not allowed.
Know. It included Black Lotus.
Oh, so they devalued one of their most expensive cards right there.
This includes cards like Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, and the original Dual Lands, which, the Power 9 and a handful of other high-value cards from the reserve list.
How do you How?
But yeah, in such a way that it had a different back than a regular Magic card, right?
So I guess it was different. I mean, maybe the OG. I'm probably sure the OG Black Lotus would still sell for more.
Oh yeah, no, it totally would. It didn't devalue it by like an insane amount, but the fact that now the Black Lotus exists in another form is going to affect the printing.
Yeah, it's going to
previous
affect
print.
the original. Yeah,
Like even if
That's
it
very
only
true.
brought it down $100, that's still a kick in the
it's
pants.
still yeah
You had one of 1,000, and now you have one of, technically
one of
not.
1,000. Like, you have one of 1,000 of that version, and that's it. Now it's no
Yeah.
longer you have one in 1,000 of Black Lotus. You have
Mhm.
of that version.
But kind of sucks to see. You hate to see it, but
Yeah,
it is what it is, I guess. And it's almost as bad as the Google AI.
oh, we finally got there.
Yeah, I realized we have more time than I thought.
Yeah.
Google AI drop stock. I'm going to bring up the article so we can talk about it a bit. Google stock tumbles nearly 8% after Bard ad shows inaccurate answers. So basically they showed it off and it did the wrong thing, and then Google stock plummeted 8% because they were like, ChatGTP, we could make a better one of those, and then they couldn't.
they didn't.
Google posted a video on Twitter demonstrating. Oh, don't jump away from. Oh God, this website's terrible. I'm just gonna find another website. This is the third time it jumped me back to the top. Oh,
Let's
sorry,
go.
8%.
Viruses.
Google shares drop 100 billion. So 8% of Google is 100 billion.
Damn.
After its AI chatbot makes a mistake. What did it do? In the fateful
What did it
ad that Google ran on Twitter's feed this week, the company describes Bard as a launchpad for curiosity and the search tool to help simplify complex topics. Okay, so what did it look about? What new discoveries from the James... Wait. Oh. A GIF accompanying... An accompanying gift prompts Bard with the question, what new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? The chatbot responds with a few bullet points, including the claim that the telescope took the first pictures of exoplanets, or planets outside the Earth's solar system. These discoveries can spark a child's imagination about the infinite wonders of the universe. But the James Webb Telescope didn't discover exoplanets.
Correct. Correct.
So, like, that's like an easily Googleable thing.
Yeah.
That's not even a complex topic. You can just Google that.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
And it's wrong. So, yeah, they dropped a lot.
Yeah. Because their AI was wrong, just straight up wrong.
Yeah. Why would they bother? Why wouldn't they run like a sample question they ran before?
Maybe they did and it was fine, but maybe that one was just wrong.
Yeah,
or
but,
no,
like,
you mean run a sample question they run before? Yeah.
Yeah, like
I see
why
what
don't
you're
you pre-record that shit and just not show the wrong thing? Because I think this was pre-recorded. It said the ad ran by Google. So like,
Yeah.
why didn't they fact check their own shit?
There's no reason. They should have fact checked their own stuff.
But like, I don't know. I don't feel like Google should even be in this race right now. I think they should just be contributing to ChatGTP. I think they should.
I agree.
They should just be contributing to the open source portion of it.
Just make the true overmind AI. Let's go.
Well, yeah,
Let's
just
get
like
Skynet going.
contribute to OpenAI and just like help. Don't make it your own. You know what we don't need? Another useless Google product.
Are you sure? Because I feel like that's what we need the most of right now. What does this world need? Useless Google products.
You know what? Here, let me read to you a few products. You tell me how many of these you use. Have you ever used Google Travel?
Every day. No. No,
What about Google Arts and Culture?
No, God, get out of here.
Google Jamboard?
What's that even mean?
What about Google Blogger?
No, no one uses
What
Google
about
Blogger.
Google... Okay, these ones are useful. Yeah, the rest, these ones are kind of useful. What about Google Hangouts? That one's like legit that nobody uses.
I remember then that was like the first one that came out. Everyone was like, "Oh, it'd be kind of cool," and then no one used it.
Then like everything else came out and it was infinite. Remember Google Circle or whatever it was called? Google Plus? What was it called? Do you remember they had like a social media network for like a month?
Yeah, And
What
they
was that
stopped because
called?
it was bad. I don't remember.
Oh,
It was that's when Hangouts released was the same thing because they're like, with Hangouts you can do this, and with our Google,
or like, when's the last time you used Google Photo Scan or Snapseed or
never.
Tilt Brush or like they've got
Google
so.
Plus.
Is that what it was called? Am I right?
Google Plus.
Yeah, that was terrible. I tried it because we had to use it for school for a little bit, and it was bad. When did that come out? 2013?
That was
2012?
launched on June 20th, 2011.
2011. I was close. I was in the ballpark. I said 2012 before you said 2011.
And it was discontinued on 2019 and fully shut down 1 month later in the same year. So early
Yeah.
2019 and then a month because it just didn't.
It was
Go.
bad. It was just really bad. But like nothing, I still don't think anything competes with Facebook as a social media platform.
No, it's sad.
Like
'cause
nothing
Mark Zuckerberg's
competes. Like
kinda
there's other
meh,
things
but
and there's better things, but nothing competes with Facebook.
yeah, it's also because everyone uses it.
It's because it's so much more useful than everything else right now. You want to buy
It
something?
is-
Go to Facebook. You want to watch something? Go to Facebook. You want to talk to somebody?
It's
Go to
very
Facebook.
useful, and
You
it
want-
also has to do with the fact that everyone uses it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hard to make something. It's so hard to do to get away from that.
But like, what one thing does Facebook do worse than somebody else? Like actually worse, not on par with or
That
just
Facebook does.
yeah, like think of all the features on Facebook and all the features of every other social media. What's
I mean,
one thing that Facebook does legitimately worse?
Facebook Live, I feel like is worse than most live things.
What social media does live well?
Oh, I guess you're talking about social media. That's
Specifically
That's true.
social media platform, right? Like Twitch
Yeah.
does live better than Facebook does, but Twitch doesn't have
It's
any
a-
social media component.
Yeah.
So like they're I don't like Facebook. I don't like Meta, but like who's doing
They-
it better?
No one.
What other
That's why people
platform
still
will
use
my
it.
family actually use for me to communicate with? I'm just going to have a Facebook account. Like there's no way around
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I only know like one person without one, and that person just misses out on world news constantly,
Yeah, because they don't have a Facebook account.
or the weather, or when a storm is coming, or when there's a power
the
outage in
weather.
my town.
Because people will constantly post that. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't like it, but like it's the best solution.
At the moment, because no one's coming around to make
Yeah.
anything better.
Look at Twitter now.
That got tanked.
You think
It's still
Facebook's
used all
bad?
the time, but
Like Twitter went from a usable product to something I probably gonna uninstall next week. Because-
Elon Musk.
There's a certain you have a number of tweets per day now.
Yep. Could you pay for more?
I think so. I think that's the point.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure if you're
Came in and
I
was
think
like,
if you
I'm
pay
gonna
for
monetize Twitter.
I think if you pay for Twitter Blue, you have unlimited tweets. But like I'm not no. Get out of here with that.
You don't want to pay for Twitter?
No.
I feel like it's totally worthwhile to pay for Twitter. It's not.
Like
I don't
actually,
think that.
can I see the Twitter payment options? Like what do I get? Do I get a t-shirt? Twitter Blue.
A strange decision to monetize
Rocket
Twitter. I mean, I
to
guess
the
it's
top
trying
of
to make
replies,
money.
mentions, and searches. So
I feel
buy
like
buy the algorithm. Half the ads. If you pay, you get half the ads, not no ads. Half the ads. Post longer videos, get early access, edit tweets, NFT profile pictures, 1080p uploads. I guess you don't
NFT
get.
profile pictures. Ugh.
Like,
Can
I don't
we
know.
get away from NFTs yet, or no?
I think the conversation died down a lot after the Luna crash.
People
but-
are still doing it though.
Oh yeah, people will always be dumb. Like
That's true.
you know?
You're not wrong.
People will always be dumb. They're gonna do dumb shit.
Every day.
I don't see any way for me to buy my way into more tweets.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just for everyone. It's always limited. Or sorry, it's limited.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't use Twitter.
I don't
I'm happy
anymore.
I never started.
I liked
happy
it
I never
before
started.
Elon got it. I used it all the time because GDQ updates there a lot. A lot of
Yeah, you
speedrunners
can
use
just get
Twitter.
the updates
Like,
without actually getting like an account, though. You just do it.
yeah, but like, you never want to like reply to something. I talk to Argic all the time on Twitter.
I don't usually know.
He replies to
No,
me. We talk. We have like back and forth.
that's good.
But I don't know. That's how I kind of talk to. I don't think Argic's a celebrity by any means, but like that's how I talk to slightly influential people online. It's like, how would
Oh,
I
the
ever
slightly influential group.
how would I ever talk to somebody like Argic or Cent?
You wouldn't.
I
Unless
can't on Twitter.
exists.
I talk to Mr. Game and Shout all the time too, or I used to
Mr.
before
Game
Twitter was
and
gone.
Watch.
But like Game and Shout.
I know.
But I used to do that kind of shit all the time on Twitter. Talk to
sense.
speedrunners, learn more about. It was a big speedrunning thing for me. That's what I use Twitter for being completely honest. I subscribed to a whole bunch of speedrunning stuff. And now they're just like, hey, go to Mastodon. I'm like, I'm not going to any platform at the moment because they're all shit.
They all are.
And
One
you-
needs to come out on top.
Just call it Twatter and end it. It's red.
Nope.
It's not a bird.
Nope.
And it's a thing.
No. And on that note, I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't got nothing
We
else.
should probably
I-
actually write
I-
it up so that, or wrap it up so that you.
Yeah, I got to go back to
get back.
work, and we'll probably get canceled over the Twatter comment. So
Yeah, no, like that's already happened.
Yeah,
We're not even live anymore.
we're not. No. Oh God! Somebody started our ending screen. Oh no!
Oh, God.
They turned on the
Who would've
music.
thought?
They can't do that without my consent. Cal, do
They
something
can't.
about it.
No, they